If you feel like you're calling in a new life for yourself for 2024, a brand new life, a brand new beginning, then this message is definitely for you, because the last new moon that we just had in the sign of Sagittarius on the 12th of December initiated an energy momentum where your old life has now come to a conclusion. It has now come to an end, and you are now fully moving into this brand new life that you're going to be initiating in 2024. And as you are feeling this within yourself, and like I said, this message will resonate for you if you are feeling this energy already within yourself. So definitely stay tuned, because all of the guidance that I'm going to be sharing today is very highly, very, very highly spiritual. It may not be for everyone. It is most certainly, though, for those particular individuals that feel like something big is about to change in their lives, like something new is on the horizon, and everything as you know it is changing, and it's changing within you the way that you see the world. So this new life that you are calling in for yourself, it requires a new you. It requires a completely brand new version of yourself, and in order for you to be able to step in it. And you may be feeling this deep nudge within you, this like urge almost to really step up in a big way, to really make some big changes in your life that are going to help usher in that next phase, that new chapter in the journey, and there has to be a sense of alignment to that, right? We all have to align to a higher timeline in order to reach that timeline, in order to ascend and move up the spiritual ladder. All of life is a journey of ascension. And in this last year, particularly 2023, was all about major purging. And there's been like a split, like a divide happening in 2023, where the spiritual and the non-spiritual are separating. It's the collective itself is splitting. So people are dividing, and you, I'm sure, have felt that on some level in your life this past year, because so much separation has been happening. So many people have been, and situations and circumstances have been falling away for so many of us that are, rising, that are up leveling. And everything that hasn't served, anything that hasn't been authentic, hasn't been real, hasn't been built on a foundation of love, is absolutely not sustainable. And so much of that had to fall away, had to crumble. And if you're feeling this up leveling, if you're feeling this really deep urge or this nudge within you to really change your game up, and change it up in the sense that, cleaning up your diet, getting more aligned with your natural health, right? Exercising more, strengthening your body, just doing all kinds of things to really elevate your vibration. If you're feeling this, then you have to keep it to yourself in a way, because it's very important that you don't allow outside influences to taint that, right? When we are moving through like a glow up, a lot of people tend to get jealous. The ones that are not willing to do the work to go through the glow up will tend to get jealous, or they will be envious, or they will be extremely triggered within their ego, because they see you doing it, and they know and they feel on some level within themselves that they should also be doing it, but perhaps just don't have the motivation, don't have the desire to put that kind of energy into themselves, or they're simply not at a level of love for themselves yet to actually be able to do that, right? And so this is why it's really, really important to keep your glow up to yourself and really just quietly in the background, do your thing, and don't particularly talk about it. And I would say even to people that are, very close to you, maybe you don't necessarily need to share this with them. The ascension journey itself is between you and God. It's not between anybody else. It is nobody else's business. It is only purely between you and God. It is a coming into union with yourself the divine masculine and the divine feminine within yourself is coming into union and merging as one. And then that merging, as that happens, is also coming into divine union with God. So it's not something that you necessarily need to talk about or share with other people. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there, because you don't want that kind of outside influence energetically. You don't want other people's negative opinions or thoughts, or even if they say, oh, yeah, good for you, but then inside they feel, triggered in some way because they know they're not doing the work. You don't want that energy to interfere with your own glow up, with your own ascension journey. So your focus and how you move right now is actually also very, very important to pay attention to. So how you move right now is actually very much tied to your belief system. So like the belief system about yourself and what you're capable of. Okay. And that's the part that is now up leveling in a huge way. What you believe about yourself and what you believe that you are capable in accomplishing or achieving in this life is going through a massive up leveling at this time. It's also actually being tested at this time. So your belief system about you is being tested in a major way, because Spirit wants to find out if you are really a true believer, a believer in spirituality, a believer in a higher power that is guiding your life. That is being tested at this time. So to believe that, you are in tune with the universe, that you're receiving guidance from the universe, and that the universe communicates with you through different kinds of signs, synchronicities, through nature itself. Like, think about that for a moment. When you start to notice that God is giving you signs through nature, that is the power of the Creator using the elements, manipulating the elements to show up for you in a certain way, to give you a certain message. That is incredibly powerful, and that is incredibly kind of mind-boggling when you think about that. The world around you, the nature, the natural world around you that you experience is showing up for you in a certain way so that you can recognize the signs and the guidance that is being shown to you. When you start to really notice these signs, you're going to need less and less validation from the external world. The external world in the sense of like other people's opinions, or, tarot card readings, or, if you're someone that maybe watches a lot of videos about your sign, and like a forecast for the week or a forecast for the month, things like that, you're going to notice that you're going to have less and less interest in watching those videos, because you are now actually really truly trusting yourself and a higher power significantly more. Again, this is a sign of you coming into union within yourself, union with God. So trust that and go with it and flow with it. And if you are noticing that you're not interested in watching, these different kind of readings and stuff, then absolutely I'm going to recommend you stop watching them. They're influencing you. They're influencing what you believe about yourself and what you believe about what is possible. So it's very important to unplug from all of that at this time. It's also incredibly brave, and it is very, very rare for people to really come to that place where they so explicitly trust God and trust themselves that they no longer need that external validation. And if you are at any phase of that life and you feel like you do not need external validation, then be very proud of yourself, because it is a very difficult thing to do. The ego attaches so much to outside validation. And when you no longer need that, it is such a huge sign that you are truly ascending, that you are truly becoming so much more enlightened and spiritual, and that you have faith and trust in God and God's plan for you. and you have faith and trust in yourself and the choices that you make and the decisions that you bring. That's a very rare thing. Just think about how many people, even just people that you know personally, how many people constantly need validation from the outside world, constantly need to hear that, they're good enough, or that they did a good job, or that they're attractive, or whatever, right? Fill in the blank. So many people need that. And that is because they are so disconnected from their own personal power. You give your power away to other people when you are expecting others to tell you what your worth is. No human can ever tell you what your worth is, because your worth isn't measurable with worldly tools, with worldly things. Your worth comes from God. It comes from that beautiful essence of light that your soul is, that your spirit is. And when you shed your body, that beautiful essence, that pure, clean soul leaves your body and becomes whole with God again. So if you are at a point in your life where you do not need external validation any longer, and when you are not looking to anyone other than yourself for guidance, then you should be extremely proud of yourself. Extremely. Because, like I said, this is very rare in today's world. Choose God to be your validation in every moment and in every sense of the word. And just trust the signs that you are receiving through nature, through the natural world. Like I said, God will use the elements, will use nature, the natural world, to give you messages. It will also use songs, perhaps, music, and sometimes it can even come through as something somebody says to you, right? That really resonates, or that sort of catches you, and you're like, yeah, that just actually validated my intuition, a feeling that I already had. So those types of validation, know the difference, okay? Those types of validation come from God. That is anytime your intuition peaks when you receive a piece of information, no matter what the source of that information is, when your intuition peaks, that is your confirmation that you are being validated by God. If your intuition isn't peaked, but you get some kind of an emotional response to some sort of external validation, then that is your ego. And that's how you can tell the difference between the two. So intuition and emotion are kind of two different things, and they feel very different within you. Your challenge right now is to really stop looking outside of you for confirmation and for answers, and to really turn within, particularly with Mercury retrograde at this time, for these last 2 weeks of the year. It's like the divine is giving us this opportunity to really turn inward and to really start looking for those answers within ourselves, and to nurture the connection between you and God. This is a very deep and spiritual time of introspection, of connection, of understanding. So turn solely inward and only to God for guidance and validation and feedback at this time. And you'll see, and you're going to notice that this is going to create a massive, massive shift within you. It's just so incredibly liberating when you have this absolutely beautiful, deep, very connected relationship with God. You're going to see how much it shifts you out of fear, how much it shifts you out of neediness and out of limitations. And you're going to really start to notice how limited the world actually is, and how limited like these tarot readings are. And it's like, that's just a certain perspective or a certain aspect, right, that is being presented. There's also a challenge right now that you may be facing about believing again in who you truly are, and also having a deeper belief in God, in your creator, where you came from. So that actually might be challenged for you at this time. We're also being challenged to shed titles, labels, and concepts and opinions that other people have formulated about us, that has placed restriction on you, because labels always place restriction. Titles, actually, even, and different opinions that other people have often really distort your own belief about who you are. And you start to believe what other people are telling you that you are, rather than you turning within yourself and really connecting to who you truly are. Can you shed this belief that your worth comes from accolades, that it comes from the progress that you make, from the things that you check off your list? That is not where your worth comes from. These are all ego constructs that are currently falling away at this time. And you have an opportunity to allow this to fall away within yourself. Never let the outside world place a value on you, on your soul, on who you are. Because remember, your physicality is not who you are. Your body is not who you are. It is simply a vessel, a home for your soul that houses the soul. Which is why it's so important that we take good care of it. And again, your value doesn't come from external factors. It doesn't come from anywhere or from anyone other than from God. Now, where you are right now is exactly where God wants you to be. So don't feel in the slightest bit that you are not where you're supposed to be, or that you should have done more, or whatever. All of that is again just kind of illusion, and it distracts you from your mission. It distracts you from accepting yourself as you are in the present moment, authentically as you are, flaws and all. What can you learn from your present moment? What is your present moment trying to teach you? Instead, focus on that and just look around you and notice what you desire to change and what you feel innately your intuition is guiding you to change. And instead, put effort into changing those things one day at a time, one step at a time. Because only your ego is judging you based on where you are. Only your ego is trying to convince you that you haven't come far enough, you haven't done enough, that you haven't sacrificed enough, or that you haven't whatever. That's all ego construct, all of it. And the ego construct itself is completely dismantling at this time. So you may be feeling this on some level within you. If you feel a calling to change your life in a really big way, then you are definitely moving to the next phase of your ascension at this time. You are moving out of and wrapping up a phase that was actually a particularly long phase. There has been a 4-year phase when awakening really started to accelerate. So the last 4 years, from 2019 up until now, has been this really huge transformative phase, ascension phase, that collectively we have been moving through. And some of us are, and some of you may be feeling that something is ending in your life. And that feeling of ending that you're noticing is the ending of that very heavy, very purge-based, shedding-based part of your journey, of your ascension journey. So there has been a purification process that you have been moving through. And that is what is sort of ending at this time. And we're moving into creation mode. So it's like all of this stuff had to fade away and fall away, and had to be, all these like lower vibrational energies and relationships and connections had to be transmuted, had to be released in order for you to lighten yourself and come into the next phase of your ascension, which is creation mode. And that is the phase that is beginning now in 2024. There's going to be more coming together and joining forces with other like-minded individuals who have also been on this journey, and creating something, bringing something into a tangible thing. You also might be realizing, actually, as you're moving through this process, that being abundant and prosperous, happy, healthy is actually your birthright. That is exactly how you're supposed to live. That is supposed to be the normal. And that is something that you might be noticing at this time and really starting to resonate with at this time. So again, we're releasing poverty consciousness. We're releasing lack mindset and lack consciousness, and moving into this like phase of I am supposed to have beautiful things. I am supposed to live in abundance, and I am supposed to have all of my needs met. So you might be guided at this time to go after something that feels so much bigger than you ever have gone after before. Something that feels almost ridiculous, almost unreachable, but there is still this excitement, this desire to just go for it. And it might feel like it's absolutely crazy and out of the norm for you, right? But there's this innate desire to stretch yourself beyond your comfort zone, beyond what you have experienced up until now. You also might notice that you actually can't ignore this feeling any longer. Like, this is such a deep nudge that you can't ignore it. And there's this deep desire that may be coming up within you to really just go for it, like leap of faith, okay? Now, your current situation, wherever you are on your journey at this time, might feel like it's highly contradicting this new crazy idea or desire that you have. And you may feel, when you look at your surroundings, like, but how, right? But that's not for you to figure out. That is not your job. And so allow yourself to just follow the urge, follow the desire. Don't worry about your current circumstances are telling you or showing you. Remember that whatever you are currently experiencing, you created in the past, right? So in this present moment, you are still experiencing sort of a backlog of energies, thoughts, feelings that you have had in the past. And that is what is still present, right? But in the present moment, if you do not focus on that, you have a chance to dream up and, like I said, go for the crazy idea and just try it and go for it and take that leap of faith to see what kind of results that is going to yield in your future. Because in the present moment is where you are creating your future. So this is major breakthrough energy, like major breakthrough energy. This is like a spiritual checkpoint, okay? A pivot point that you are at this time. And you may be feeling this very deeply within yourself, within your heart. And it's a sign that you are actually extremely close to this brand new beginning, this new direction that you're meant to move in at this time. Just keep in mind that if things aren't looking exactly the way that you would like them to look, it's okay. Do not focus on that, because it is always darkest before the dawn, and there is always a pause period before you move into the next phase. You may have been sitting in pause or in void for quite some time, where you might be thinking like, yeah, but Kata, I'm doing the work, like I'm meditating, I'm taking care of myself, I'm taking care of my body, I'm doing all these things, and I'm still not seeing anything showing up in the outside world, right? Still nothing is happening, nothing is changing. That is because you are in pause. You're in the void it's like twilight, right? You're in the twilight zone, literally, at this time, if you are feeling that, because, and what happens in twilight? It is quiet. There's a stillness within the twilight zone. So with the Mercury retrograde, it's like the universe knows exactly what humanity is going through right now and knows exactly each and every single soul that is in the twilight at this time and is asking you, can you just be still? Don't desire, don't want for anything. Just be still. Trust, believe, be. And then when it feels right, you take that step and you take that leap of faith. Do you see what I'm saying? So, huge checkpoint. It's very important to be aware at this time. Don't let your mind go crazy. Don't overthink things. Don't let your ego, push you off the deep end back into your old ways of thinking. Know that that's an illusion. It's not real. It's simply trying to pull you back. Stay firm within this period of pause, within this period of introspection, deep introspection. And keep in mind that this is usually the part where most people give up. And it's so sad, but this is the part where most people give up because they think, well, I'm doing the work, and nothing's happening, and I don't get it, so whatever, that's it. I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. What's the point? I don't see any results. Anyway, again, that's still ego. And if you're there, then have the awareness that your ego is having a tantrum. Don't believe it. Your ego can really pull you off of this journey if you allow it. So you have to be very aware and very discerning at this time. Push through. Just push through. No matter what your ego says, no matter how many tantrums it has, no matter how much it thinks things are not going to come together for you, it's simply not true. You may also be feeling ready to put your full faith in God at this time. And if you are in this twilight zone that I was talking about, then you are definitely at a point where God is actually asking you to wholeheartedly put full faith into your Creator and trust that everything is unfolding in its absolute perfect divine timing. When you do this, you will notice that the outside world will simply not be able to affirm you any longer because only God will be able to affirm you. It will be the only wisdom that you will want to listen to and that you will want to follow, which of course will mean that a lot of people in your surroundings may not be very happy with you. They may not like the fact that you don't listen to them, that you don't follow in their footsteps, that you don't do what they're telling you to do. And you have to be okay with that. You have to let that just fall away and not listen and continue trusting yourself. The ascension journey is not an easy journey. It is not for the faint of heart. And we are all tested at this time. God is testing each and every single soul on this planet at this time and asking us to decide. Decide whether you are willing to do this work, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how much it goes against everything that you have believed and everything that you have ever been taught. Are you willing to do this work? Because if you are, then the kingdom of heaven will be yours. And you will experience heaven on earth. And your life will up-level and upgrade in such a magnificent way. And people are going to be in shock looking at you and looking at your life and how you live and how you get to live on your terms because that's what you chose. This is what 2024 is about for us now. It is asking you to come into alignment with your true self and start living your life according to that alignment with full trust and full knowing that you are cared for, loved, supported, protected by your Creator, and that you are absolutely celebrated for having such courage and perseverance to go against all odds and do what you were truly meant to do and to do what you truly want to do. You will be so celebrated and so blessed if you are willing to do that. And like I said, that's not necessarily easy. And it means sometimes that a lot of people will fall away from your life. People that don't agree with that. People that are still very much stuck in their ego and very much stuck in, ego constructs and mindsets and fear, right? So many people will tell you that you need to do this and you better do that or else. But if it doesn't feel right for you, if that's not where your intuition is guiding you, do not listen. Do not trust that. Are you going to follow fear or are you going to follow God? That is the test right now for every single one of us. And you get to decide. So don't abandon who you are and don't let yourself become this watered down version of yourself because you're listening to other people and what their opinions are about your life over your life and what you should be doing or shouldn't be doing. That's not you. Believe me, you will regret and you will not be happy and you will not feel fulfilled if you allow others to dictate how your life should be going at this time. Do not make people a source of your guidance. Make God a source of your guidance. And your Creator communicates to you through your intuition, through feelings, through those synchronicities, and through the natural world. Use that as your guidance system. Don't abandon your path, your mission, because every sign that you receive, everything that is happening to you and for you is guiding you towards your mission, your purpose, to whatever is in true alignment with your happiness. That's what it's actually guiding you towards. So stay connected to your Creator's guidance and trust it. Absolutely, unshakably trust it. And know that it is meant for you specifically. You're going to see people that are on this journey that are doing the work, up-leveling and doing their business in all kinds of different ways and starting businesses in all kinds of new ways that are in alignment with them. You may be doing this already yourself. You're going to notice people leaving all kinds of situations that just simply don't align for them or that prevent them from creating this brand new life that they have dreamed up for themselves. And if you are feeling this and if you are resonating with this message today, then this is confirming that you're in your power. You're back in your power. You no longer give your power away to other people, and you no longer allow other people to dictate your journey, which means that you're facing in the right direction. You're moving in the right direction when it comes to your ascension. Despite difficulties, despite hardships, despite everything that you have had to move through this past year and in the previous years, this up-leveling was supposed to be challenging in some way, to shed all these different programming and beliefs and constructs, which all came from other people. To shed all of that is difficult. That's why not everyone is doing this. That's why so many people avoid doing this work. Because if it was easy, believe me, everyone would have done it by now. It's not. It's not. You are moving through ego death. And your ego is starting to take a back seat. And your higher self and your soul and your heart, your intuition, is now sitting in the driver's seat and guiding your life forward. So if you're still sticking to what you feel is right for you and following your heart and not listening to other people, but listening to yourself in terms of what you need to do to move your life forward, then just know that the heavens are absolutely so incredibly proud of you. You are so celebrated and smiled upon for sticking it out, for not giving up. All of this work has not gone unnoticed by the heavens. And believe me when I tell you that you will be extremely blessed for this commitment to yourself, to your higher self, to your soul, and this commitment to God. Because to go against all societal norms and opinions and just pursue your dreams takes serious guts and trust and courage. And I strongly encourage you to take some time to go within yourself on a daily basis. Take a little bit of time every single day to go within yourself and to connect to your higher self, to your heart, and allow that to guide you for the day. What do I need to do today? What is most important? What is my higher self desiring to do today? Directing me to do today? Tune into that daily at this time during Mercury retrograde until January the 1st, every single day. And even, of course, beyond that, tune in every day and ask for that guidance so that you know exactly what you should be doing, what you should be focusing on, and so that you get really clear and concise messages about your next step. Because you only need to don't worry about the next step. You only need to know the next step. You don't need to know beyond that. This is the type of energy where you begin to walk a path that has not been forged. And this creation energy that we are moving into is all about creating brand new pathways that have not been walked before. So think about a forest. When you go into a dense forest, and once you get off the path, the beaten path that most people take through that forest, and you just start moving through the brush, that's hard. That's very difficult. You need some tools, you need something to be able to get through that. This is the same thing. Your life is moving through this same process where you are absolutely forging a brand new pathway for yourself. And that takes serious strength, devotion, commitment to do. So have a deep sense of compassion, patience, and love for yourself. And recognize how incredibly awesome you are for being able to do this, for having the willingness to do this. And you may be doing things that no one in your family has ever done before, which means that you're breaking generational karmic cycles and forging new pathways forward for your entire lineage. That's wild when you think about it. Carry this knowing within you wherever you go. Have this power before your eyes and keep remembering how incredibly strong you are to be walking this journey. Stay in the energy and in the thoughts and in the feelings of best case scenario for your life constantly from this point on. Because when you trust God and you know that God is moving you up the ladder, not down the ladder, but you're moving you up into a better life, then you have nothing to expect other than the best case scenario. I was laying in bed the other night and I received this message. I believe it was on the 1212 portal, actually. And I received this message about how God showed me a mountain and literally delivered a message that God moves mountains People climb them. Think about that for a moment. When you start working with the energy of your creator, you're not going to need to climb mountains because God will move them out of the way for you. How powerful is that? How divine is that? So every situation that you are experiencing, that you are moving through, is actually aligning you with the ultimate truth that you are a master manifester. And all you need to do is tune in and align yourself to your creator's energy, because God is the delivery guy. So eradicate fear from your life completely and just watch how your outside world, how everything outside of you is going to align to match that vibration and will reflect back to you through all kinds of beautiful opportunities, all kinds of wonderful people that are in alignment with you coming into your life. That's how this works. This is how we manifest out of love instead of out of fear. So stay true to what your heart wants and to what it wants to create and bring into this world to make manifest, whether it's validated from the outside or not. And like I said, keep it to yourself. Keep your dreams to yourself. It's between you and God only. That's it. You put it out there. God says, I'm on it. I'm going to start working on it. And your job is just to pay attention to the signs, the synchronicities that are guiding your next steps. In every moment, you are guided. Your next step is shown to you. If you pay attention, you will notice, you will see it. Just know that you are surrounded by pure, unconditional love. And let that be enough. So don't use the world as a measuring system for your worth and for your value. That's not where it comes from. And it will not only show you who you are as you walk this deeply spiritual path of faith, but it will also show you who God is. So if this message resonated with you, then this is the path that you are now walking. Or perhaps this is the path that you are moving closer to. Maybe you're not quite there yet, and that's okay. Remember to just trust where you are and be okay with where you are. The path of absolute surrender to the Most High takes you into a life of bliss, a life where there is no lack, none whatsoever. And you will never be afraid of anything or anyone ever again if you walk this path, if you choose this path. So if you have the audacity to believe in yourself and to believe in your creator, to guide you, to never desert you, your life will unfold in a way that others will truly call a miracle. So that is my message for today. Thank you for your patience. Thank you if you have made it all the way through. I know it was a long one, but I was definitely divinely guided to share this. So I hope it resonated. And if it did, I just want to congratulate you for how well you have done. And just know that God is so incredibly proud of you. Good job. Keep doing you. And you are going to see the absolute magical golden apple fruits of your labor in 2024. Stay blessed, everyone. So until next time, take care of yourselves. Go within.